This is Pie Town. It's the Pie-O-Neer Pie House, New Mexico. It says you better stop and have a piece of pie. Beautiful. This is a really special place, Pie Town. That's looking to the west off the Continental Divide into New Mexico and Arizona. And this is looking towards Datil, Magdalena, Socorro, in the east off the Continental Divide. This is Pie Town, the Pie-O-Neer Pie House, and it's board and bat construction. They say this place has been around. Pie Town, founded in 1927. Look at those yellow pine boards. Isn't that something? What do you think? This building is pretty old. And the most special thing about this building is that over here is the U.S. Post Office, Pie Town, New Mexico, with its own handicap ramp, if you can believe that. Like, how many wheelchairs do you have in Pie Town? Geez, looks like they bought all the pipe from U.S. Steel to make this thing. Could have put it on the side, couldn't you? And of course, a Pie Town Community Bulletin Board. Even Mesa, Arizona doesn't have one of these. A Kodiak 50 caliber black powder muzzle loader. You'd find that in Pie Town. Catron County, yeah, that's the county we're in. This is looking west, Pie Town, Yellow Stripe Road, and all the little black lines in the road. It's looking eastward, very nice. There's only a few places in the world where you can stand in the road because there's no cars. Pie Town's one of them. And the interesting thing about Pie Town is you're expected to help do the emergency services, which may not be all that extensive. And I don't suppose they pay a lot of taxes to do that either. So that would save a lot of communities money. Reminds me of the bakery in Mesa. We called it the Big Bubble Bread and Wide-Eye Pie Company. And this, of course, is an excellent outhouse in Pie Town. The wind going through the trees here at Pie Town, like a sweep the dust out of your soul. Hard to describe wind that makes a noise like that. What do you think of that?
Too old.
Too old, huh? It says candy there on the door. Look, candy. Too old, huh? Pretty old, and that's not real bricks. That's white paper, tar paper, made to look like bricks. Too old. No te lo digo. Well, the strangest things happen sometime. There's Hampton, tied there. There's the bus and the pie shop. We thought the pie was so great, but they got this old dirty cowboy there, and he come out and cussed us out for being a day late. Said a bunch of shit to us. And I guess the pie store wants to keep him around like an old piece of crust and impress their customers. So we're just getting the heck out of here because we don't take abuse and insults from people. Why didn't you come up yesterday? Well, my electrical system went out. You know, well, you didn't water your horse and feed him. It's like, oh gee, a real cowboy. So maybe I take that all back about the Pie-O-Neer pie shop in Pie Mountain, because they got a snake living under the porch that bites people. It's too bad. Good pie. Nice people, except for the dog. Okay, so it's August like 16th or something, and we've moved the bus away from Pie-O-Neer Pie House down here. And this guy's come down, been very threatening and abusive, and we don't talk to him anymore. And Megan and Nita at Pie-O-Neer Pie were really nice, and why they put up with this scumbag hanging around their place and abusing people, I don't know. But it will shake the dust off their feet, as the Bible says, and it will come back on this place and damage them. And why they want that, I don't know. But they've really hurt the reputation of a beautiful spot. There's so few people anyway. So we head east for Datil. In Pie Town, you got a nice place, but you need to flush your toilet. Lots of bikers in New Mexico on the road enjoying the scenery. Well, this is what they call the Continental Divide, elevation 7,796 feet. And maybe they had problems too at Pie Town, so they moved it over here to be safe. I don't know. 58 miles into New Mexico, and we got another 19, 20 miles to go to Datil. Got an interesting hill over here. There's nothing growing on it, and it's sort of a different type of geography than everything else around it. It used to be painted. Someone died out here in the highway. It's like Valezerado or something like that. It's all worn off. Someone put a cross up here. It's cool. The wind is blowing. We're coming down the east side of the Great Divide, and it's a beautiful day in New Mexico. What beautiful country. Look at that sky. Look at that blue, man. Yeah. Great New Mexico. Right there now is a New Mexican horned toad, and he's redder than the California variety by a little bit. There he goes. There he is. Yeah, you bet. He's a beautiful creature. Beautiful clouds like sky flowers. You know, I'd like to talk about something in the West. Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Eastern Oregon, Northern Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. It's the lack of junk, man. There's just this open space. There's not too many people. You're going to have this constant trash bombardment of your mind. You get to think the biggest noisemaker is the wind, and it's good for your soul, man. It's beautiful. You don't have the garbage being pumped at you non-stop. The beauty of wide open empty spaces. This is Datil, New Mexico. A gas station, a post office, a general store maybe. Nothing's open on Sunday. And this is Datil. And here's to Socorro. A guy named Michael gave me a ride from Datil to Pie Town to get the bus. And we're going down to Datil this evening. We have a beautiful sunset. Everybody happy?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So there's a lot of deer out in the road here, and probably elk tonight. And we'll probably see some. So here we are in the evening at Datil in the wonderful Aka Freedom bus, and some water for Hampton. And it's beautiful, just a beautiful quiet spot, small town. And here's Hampton and the kids. Okay, I'm going to just recap what happened this morning. We went a couple days ago. I rode to Pie Town, I asked the cafe if I could put it behind their, they said they had a spot behind their cafe. They offered that, and so I put it there. And a fellow that worked for them had some alfalfa. And so, and there was water there for it. And so we gave the horse some alfalfa. And I have some alfalfa on the bus already, but it was in Springerville. And so I said I'd be back next morning around noon, probably at the latest, right? And so then when I went hitchhiked back to Springerville, the next morning when I woke up, we had still some problems with the bus electrical, and so I didn't get out. I couldn't get out that day. And then the next morning we worked on it, and we got the problems fixed that we needed to get fixed, and then got out of Springerville probably 4 o'clock or something, or later, and got some diesel on the edge of town, and then we come up the mountain. It's 50, 60 miles to Pie Town, and so we got in there about 7:45 at night, and I took some alfalfa and gave it to Hampton, and then I went, and there was one lady still working at the pie shop, and so I went and said, hey, you know, we got back late because we had some electrical problems with the bus and so forth, and she was really nice. And so then in the morning I got up and I brought an extra big bale of alfalfa for the guy who had helped out with his alfalfa. I mean, Hampton didn't eat that much, but I just, you know, I knew that he was using alfalfa because he had one horse, so I brought a bale up to give to him. And I took that out of the bus in the morning about 7 o'clock and took it over in front of the Pie-O-Neer pie house, right? And then a friend stopped by and we were talking and went looking at the horse, and this Jim guy that works for the pie house or hangs around there, he's at the Pie-O-Neer, he comes over and starts being really abusive. And the guy that was feeding some alfalfa to the horse, right? Like really just totally over the wall. And the other cowboy that was there was looking at me like, who is this guy? And so Jim says, get your horse off the property. And so you didn't come back on time, and get your horse off the property. And I said, well, we had some electrical problems, and you know, no harm come of it. And so so I took the horse off the property, and I moved the horse down the bus down the street from the Pie-O-Neer pie house, and I moved the horse down the street, and I was going to sit in Pie Town, and Michi was going to go and have some pie in that restaurant. We were going to sit and talk and have some pie and have some fun and play in the park and stuff. So this guy comes off like this, you know. And so if you know, he works for the Pie-O-Neer Pie House, and if they want to have a jackass around, a dog that bites people, and then pretend that they don't know what this guy's doing, he's being real rude and a jackass with people, and then he says, well, I don't want your hay. Get it out of here. I don't want your hay. I said, okay. So I said I didn't have any more room for it, so I gave it to one of the cowboys. And then I moved the bus and the horse down the road, and he comes down in the car chasing down the road after us, says, yeah, if you don't pay me, I'm going to call the sheriff. So, you know, there's 2 pie shops in town. There's the Pie Cafe, which I would now recommend that you go to instead of the Pie-O-Neer, because apparently they keep this dog under the porch and let it bite people, and then pretend that it doesn't have anything to do with them, and it was their land, and they never come out and talked to me, and never come out and said, hey, anything. And I talked to them last night, and they were copacetic with everything. So that was a real disappointment for us to, you know, have some good pie there, and then find out they've got a poison apple, you know, a rotten apple that makes the whole thing stink, and be looking forward to spending the day in Pie Town. And then the Pie-O-Neer has this, you know, dog that's off the chain that they claim is working for him, or they're letting him hang around, or I don't know what he's doing for him, but they got him around there, and he's damaging their business, and they seem pretty happy about that. So anyway, that was a real disappointment for us. So I rode to Datil, and a guy gave me a lift back to the bus and moved the bus to Datil tonight, and that's where we're at. So you'll see the video of the day and everything, but we never met anybody like that in this whole trip. And all the people we dealt with, even Rotten Raymond at the Stinking Enchilada in Moss's Landing, California, I mean, he just said, hey, I don't want your horse here, you know, take it away. And he's pretty snotty, but he's an old fart, you know, he's like 80 years old, you know, and so he has some kind of excuse. But this scumbag wannabe cowboy from Colorado, he should go back to Colorado, you know. He's a detriment to Pie Town, and it's too bad because I bet the pies are all good there and everything, but you know, they should flush the toilet, like I said earlier.